So, with that being said, uh, one, we ain't praying enough to get this virus out of here. Two, maybe God don't hear us if we are praying. Number three, maybe this virus ain't of God. Maybe this virus comes up out of darkness. Or number four, like I said in the beginning, uh, Satan rules the world. His principles and principalities is what rule the world, but God is in control. So God allowed it, of course. That's why it's here. That's why the virus is here, because God allowed it. But here we stand, a year into it, and now they got a new vaccine. And in this new vaccine that they're talking about, it's not proven. You still gotta wear your mask. You still gotta stay socially distant. And you still might get the virus. And even on top of that, people have died from this virus. So, with that being said, if, like I said before, if this of God, ain't nothing a vaccine could do. But if it's of darkness, then it comes out of darkness, and God allowed it to happen, and there's more to come. And I believe that it's much more to come. They talking about a new normal, never getting back to normal. Woo woo woo, woo woo woo. And I trust God in His word. I trust Him in the nation against nation, the kingdom against kingdom, the famines and the pestilences, and the earthquakes in diverse places. And that being the beginning of sorrow. I trust that more than I do CNN, Fox, or whoever else news that's feeding the vision to the people. And with that being said, the virus is sin, and God is the vaccine. And I got a couple more verses. One of them is actually in Psalm 91. I want to say verse 6. And I used this in my last message titled The New Year. And the reason that I used it in there is because, we get caught up in these new things, or these so-called celebrations, these so-called things. And Psalm 91 telling you that while you pausing and celebrating and doing this and doing that, the devil ain't took a break. He's attacking you morning, noon, and night. And I think in Psalm 91, let me find it here. Psalm 91, Psalm 91. It's a prayer of protection, of course. And it just talks about how the devil just comes at you. In verse 6, it says, I'm going to start out from the beginning. It said, "Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, uh, nor the arrow that flieth by day, nor the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday." And I want to point out a key, nor the pestilence that walketh in darkness. This corona comes from darkness. It's not from God. It don't speak as such. In Ephesians 6, where it talks about us not fighting against flesh and blood. Six and 12 Ephesians. The last one I just read was talking about the pestilences or the disease that walketh in darkness. In this verse, 12 is going to tell us about the other part of the darkness. It said, "For we wrestle not against the flesh and blood." Just like the nations, the kingdoms that Jesus was talking about, that I tried to bring out in the nations that was sitting on the land with Moses and Pharaoh. God was at work fighting those spiritual wickedness that the Pharaoh had through Moses and Aaron. It said, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Again, just another example of darkness on display. First, the pestilence that walketh in darkness. That was in Psalm 91, verse 6. And now, this spiritual wickedness. And just like in the story of the 10 plagues with Pharaoh's soothsayers and their belief system, their kingdom was in darkness. That's why they could do the magic that they did. And by casting them spells and stuff, not spells, but even when some of God's people, when they did get free and they was in the wilderness, they were so bamboozled today, made the statement that you done brought us out here to die. We'd rather go back and be slaves for Pharaoh and honor his gods, because this God that told you to come and get us, he told you to bring us out here so we could die. And that's what's going on. New vaccine? Don't think so. Think this is the work of darkness. This virus is the work of darkness. And the only way we gonna get up out of this thing is per Ephesians 6. And I think that was 12, where it's talking about the flesh and blood and the battle not being against it. But we know the devil has people too. Skip a verse and go down to the next verse. And Paul started talking about putting on the armor of God. That's how we fight this thing. Not withstanding anything else but the armor of God. I hope I said something to help y'all in y'all walk. And then y'all talk. God bless y'all. Y'all be a blessing. Stay safe.